Hello, hello. I'm Allison and this is the Yarn Parlor. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as alevitt1. Today is Tuesday, February 9th, and this is episode 4. You can find the show notes in the Ravelry group. I finally made a Ravelry group. And there's also a questions thread and an introduction thread. So go over there, introduce yourself, and ask me questions. This is my podcast about knitting, spinning, and design-oriented. I wanted to say a big hello and thank you to Kristen, Andy, and Gabby for their salutations on their podcasts. That was very sweet, and I hope you guys like the show. And I wanted to say a huge thank you for all of my subscribers and all of my returning viewers. And if you're new, hello. I have 100 subscribers, over 100. I think it was 113 when I checked this morning. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. And I would like to do a giveaway because 100, that's amazing. That really means a lot to me that people are subscribing and want to watch the show. So I wanted to do a giveaway. I was trying to find a thing where I could give a gift card for Ravelry patterns, but I couldn't find one. So if you know how to do that, please tell me. If it doesn't exist, I would like to gift 3 patterns. Well, it's a total of 4, but one of them I want to gift you the Waiting for Rain shawl, and then 3 patterns of your choice. So 4 in total, but you get to choose 3 of the patterns. That's my giveaway. I'm gonna set up a thread for 100 subscribers, and you'll go over there and answer a question, which I will explain later. And yeah, I'll pick a winner and announce it on the next episode. The next thing I wanted to go over was just something to think. What I'm calling something to think about. A lot of podcasters I noticed recently have been talking about monogamous knitting. So I wanted to just do a small segment about monogamous knitting versus all the whips. When I was watching podcasts this weekend, like I said, a lot of people have been monogamously knitting on their projects to get them done. Lara from The Fawn Knits, Diane from Suburban Stitcher, Molly from The Homespun House, excuse me, and Danny from The Little Bobbins. They've have mentioned that they're monogamously knitting on something, or that they want to start monogamously knitting to get rid of some of their whips. And I think that they're doing that because of the new year. They're trying to get all of their old whips completed and off the shelves and wearing them. Kind of like what I'm doing with my Nurmalin too, except I didn't knit on it this week. So that one goes back on the shelf. But I found it quite interesting because you can ebb and flow from wanting to monogamously knit on something or just casting on all the things. So I was noticing that, like I said, I was noticing that a lot of people were mentioning it, and then I watched The Grocery Girls, their first episode. You should totally check them out. It's Tracy and Jody. Hi, ladies. And they are a hoot. I loved watching their first episode. They're only podcasting every 2 weeks, and I really wish that they did every week because it was a lot of fun watching them. But they were talking about how they have all the whips, and I love that. It made me so happy. They were saying that they're not stressed. They've got all these single socks. They cast on lots of things, and I feel like that's how I knit. I just want to cast on all the things. I want to try new yarns. It makes me so happy to start new projects. I think a lot of people are actually like that. That's how you have 28 whips. But I just found it really interesting that a lot of people were talking about it recently. So that is my question to you guys for the 100 subscribers giveaway is, are you a monogamous knitter or are you casting on all the whips? Just leave your answer in the thread that I will put up in the Ravelry group, and I'll pick a winner for the next episode. So I will go into my finished objects. I finished my January socks finally, posted them yesterday on Instagram. So here are my Minnesota Moonlight. They have been blocked. I finally got around to blocking them yesterday. So, the pattern is by Kat Bordy. It's toe up. It's a round toe, stockinette foot. She came up with the sweet tomato heel, which is a series of wedges to curve around the heel, and then cable ribbed lace leg. Here, let me switch that around. You can see the lace. And then Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. For some reason, I forgot that last episode. I swear, when this camera goes on, you like forget all your words, all of them. They just fly right out of your head. I'm getting better, I swear. Maybe. So, I like this pattern. It was great. It's a paid for pattern, but you learn her heel, how to do her heel, and I learned how to do a round toe, which I thought was great. I'm trying to do all different toes and heels throughout the year to kind of build up knowing how to build a sock, if you will. So I talked about these a lot last episode, so they are what they are. One little thing that I wanted to mention that might help other people, I don't know, but while you're knitting them, you're using 4 stitch markers. She labels them A through D, and I used my Such Gwenderful Stuff. Can you see that? Maybe there. Stitch markers. They're teeny tiny little sock stitch markers. And if you can, obviously you can see that they're different colored. So it goes from like a light blue to a dark blue. So I just chose 4 gradient colors and labeled them A through D, but I did it so that A was the lightest and D was the darkest, so I knew which one I was coming up to next. I knew that like the medium light color was B and the medium dark color was C and the darkest was D, so I like could easily distinguish each marker. Some people may not have that problem. I did. So, but I love these teeny tiny markers. They're wonderful. You can find her on Etsy, and I'll put her in the Such Gwenderful Stuff. I'll put her in the show notes. Then on to whips. I worked a little bit on my Enchanted Mesa sweater by Stephen West. This I'm keeping in one of my project bags. I wanted to use these for my rainbow socks from the Suburban Stitcher Rainbow Along, but it's such a large bag that I thought it would be a little bit ridiculous. But I put this raindrops on the inside, and it's got little, and then on the bottom is a waxed shiny linen bottom. So it's pretty sturdy. Here, okay, so this is the Enchanted Mesa sweater by Stephen West. I don't know if I said that. Got sidetracked with my bag. I've just casted on the cowl. I just started the cowl collar. I had to use a provisional cast on, which is, let me go over the yarn first. I'm using Noro yarns, Kibo, which is which is 54 cotton, 34 wool, 12 silk. It's a DK weight, and it's all these blues and oranges and mixed together. I'm having a great time using this yarn. It's fun to see all the colors emerge. Yeah. What else? I'm using US 8 needles, which is a 5mm. And yeah, so I had to, you start with a provisional cast on, which I had never done before. It was easy, but it was a little finicky. I think the way I did it is not the crocheted chain way, and I think I might try that the next time because I think that might work easier, picking up your stitches through a crochet chain. I went to knitty.com. I used their instructions, which was still fine, but it's like you have to twist the yarns when you're casting on, and I found it a little finicky. Like I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I liked how this turned out because the orange is actually on the inside. This is how it's going to go, the collar, but it drapes down, it cowls. And so you could see the inside, which is why you do the provisional cast on, because it makes it look nice and clean on the inside. But I think it's kind of cool how the orange was on the inside, so this might show to the outside. I have to do this for 10 inches. I've got about 4 inches right now, and then I start on the sweater. And my stitch marker is from Spindle Cat Studio. I found them on Etsy, and I absolutely love their stitch markers. So it's, there's a big end and a little end. So I think it's from 6 to 11, or this one's 6. And you can use up to an 11 on the big side. So I got those 4, and then I got the little mini ones to use for sock knitting. And those are a 1 to a 3. And then they also have these stitch holders, which I thought were really cute. And these are all brass and copper. And they also have these single ones in silver. I thought they were really fancy, but they're just simple rings, nothing, no hangy charms, and that's what I've really been into. Even with the Gwenderful Stuffs rings, they're the snagless stitch markers, so they're just simple and lightweight, and I think it's easier to work with those. Don't get me wrong, I love charms, and I have a ton of progress keepers with charms all over them, but I just can't do it with the stitch marker. It annoys me a little bit. Anyway, enough about stitch markers. Yeah, so that's the start of my Enchanted Mesa. My next whip is my Swatch challenge. I've been working with El Cielo yarn. And that's superfine alpaca and nylon. 89% superfine alpaca, 11 nylon. And I've just been working on my stockinette swatch. Oh, it's so soft and so light. It's like air. I mean, it's exactly like a mohair if you want something to compare it to, but it's thicker than a mohair. Usually mohair is not as fuzzy, I think. You can like see the hairs popping up. It's so fuzzy. So I think for this month, I'm going to try and do, excuse me, 3 swatches. But this month I'm going to try and do 4 because I want 2 stockinette stitches. I want a single ply stockinette, which is what I'm working on here, and then a double ply stockinette because I want a beefier fabric. I love this. Like, I want a giant fluffy sweater from this, like long and enormous and tunicky, and it's awesome. But I want it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to try a 2-ply stockinette. And then I want to make 1 lace swatch and 1 cable swatch. But cables like the Stephen West Doodler, not cables like Ralph Lauren. I'm not a huge fan of the just like a 2x2 or a 3x3 cable. It looks really flat to me and preppy. I don't like the way that they look. I want something that's like 30 stitch cable, like 15 by 15 cable, like, you know, in the cable section of the Doodler, it's like these big, sloppy, messy cables. They're just enormous and puffy, and I think it would really work with this puffy yarn to make them extra messy. So those are what I have in store for this yarn. And then that's it for my whips, really. I picked a pattern for my February socks, so I just wanted to quickly go over that once more. My February sock yarn is, excuse me, my throat is dry. My February sock yarn is from White Birch Fiber Arts. That's it. And it's Nothing Says Screw You. What is it? Nothing says screw you like a rainbow. It's a self-striping. I've got it caked up now. And it's a thick stripe of a rainbow and then a thick stripe of the clouds, the blue and white sky clouds section. And I don't know, it's all mixed in here. You can sort of see it. But I want to do the Mystic Spiral pattern from Josh, Sort of a Knitter. I think he publishes under Geonitrix is his design company name. And it's got short rows, so the stripes kind of skew. They spiral, if you will. And there have been a lot of people who have done it, use this yarn and his pattern. So if you want to go onto Ravelry and look at how, so I already know how it's going to look and kind of where I should start the stripe to get the stripe to lay on the spiraled stripe. I want the rainbow to lay on the spiral. I'll try and insert a photo of his pattern so you know what I'm talking about. But that I hopefully will cast on this week. Once I finished my January socks, I was like, I cannot cast on socks right now. I loved the Minnesota Moonlight pattern. I absolutely do. But since it was a lace and a cable rib and it was just a lot, I was a little bit done with socks. So I had to cast on my Enchanted Mesa sweater. I was like, I just need stockinette. So that's why I did not cast on my February socks. But I will cast them on this week because I am excited. Oh, I wanted to say that in Josh's pattern, he mentions to use, or suggests to use the Spacious OMG heel by Megan Williams. Yes, Megan Williams. I think it's a paid for pattern. I think I've already bought it. And the whole point of me doing a sock a month is to learn new things. So I will, whether I've got the pattern or not, I'm going to go out and buy the pattern and use the Spacious OMG heel for these socks. Because it's something new and maybe it'll be a really great fit. I think a lot of people have been using that one recently. I've heard it in conversations. So, something new to try. And along with something new to try is that you have to knit a specific right and left sock, which I've never done before either, so this should be exciting. Yeah, I may get a little bit confused with this pattern, I think, but they look really cool, so I'll take the risk. Maybe I'll just make 2 right socks and call it a day. Next is spinning. So I've been spinning what I think is a lot, even though they still just look like little mini sample skeins to everybody else. But I ordered fiber this past weekend. I haven't bought yarn since last year, and that is my goal, is to not buy yarn for a full year, and I made it for 1 month, even though there are plenty of enablers out there, and my whole Instagram feed is all yarn. Like, I see everybody's shop update. It's really killing me. Like, I just want to tell you guys where to go and shop for yarn. Like, I see all these updates and I'm like, maybe I should start just telling you guys about all the great yarn out there and you go and buy it. Anyway, I bought fiber. It should take like 2 to 3 weeks to get here, which is plenty of time though, because it's really kind of inspired me, if you will, to spin up what I have in my small stash here, just to like spin up everything that I have, so when the new fiber comes, I can just spin that. Even when the new fiber comes, if I haven't spun this, I'll still just spin it. But at least it's like clearing out some stuff, is how I look at it. So this is the Lydia Yarns. This isn't new. You guys saw the singles the last episode, but I plied it for a 2-ply, and it came out pretty good, I think. It's kind of like a fingering to sport weight, but it looks nice. I'm working on controlling how much twist I put into my yarn, because I've started to over twist my singles, like way over twist them. These 2 are the Corriedale from wisteria.com. This one actually has, when I bought my loop bump, she sent me a couple little samples. So the colors in here, it's all colors. The butterscotch is from Wisteria, and the purple and orange and burgundy is from Loop. And I just put them all together. But it kind of looked cool because it's like a sunset or sunrise or whatever. It goes really well. But these are this one's worse though. You can see how it like crimps. It looks like I put it through a hair crimper. Oh, they're so overspun. I don't care too much, but it's something that I now need to work on, know about and need to work on. I think it was because it was really hard to keep my spindle spinning, so I would spin it really hard and just try and draft as fast as I could, and then spin it really hard and try and draft. And so they just ended up overspun. I wasn't really paying attention. I also think it's because I don't particularly like this fiber. So I think I was just like, just get it done. Just spin it. The loop was really nice though. I'm not sure what they were, but she uses nice fibers. Anywho, those are that. And my last is 2 more of the hobbledehoy batlings that I've been working on. And this one I was super careful to try and not overspin, so I think it's better. Although when I dried it, I dried it for a small time with some weight on it, and then I let it just kind of do its thing. So I don't think it got, I don't know, I think drying it with the weight just helps straighten it a little bit better. It's still, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by my memory card being full, the hobbledehoy batlings have a little bit of a kink to them, and I think it's due to the fact that I didn't use a weight the whole time that the yarn was drying. It's fine, it'll still knit. And then I'm getting better at spinning sparkle into my yarn. This is a bad example, but I can usually, when I first started spinning, I would only get half of the sparkle spun, kind of like this one here. I don't know if you can see it. There's only like half, it's only half spun into the yarn. But now I'm getting better at spinning all of the sparkle into it. I don't know, they just poke out when I'm spinning. Is that how it's supposed to happen? Or some of them are good, some of them still just poke out. That is the hobbledehoy battling though. Did I show the card before? I don't remember. And I love her fiber. I've got another 2-ounce bag and 4 more battlings in this one. And this is what they look like before. And this one was more navy and dark purple, obviously. But I love them. They are so soft and such a joy to spin. That's it for spinning today. On to the segment that I'm calling Podcasters Publicity. And today I wanted to talk about nautical knitter. Nautical knitter, spelt with a K, nautical. I will put it down below somewhere or in the show notes, because I have show notes now. His name is Matt, and he has been, or was in the Navy for 20 years, and he's been knitting for a little over 3 years. He has 2 episodes out, I think, and in his second episode, he talks about how he's knitting a Stephen West shawl, so it definitely piqued my interest to see how the shawl comes out. He's knitting the shawl for his wife, and I think that's so sweet. And he uses some really great yarns. A lot of the yarns he uses are exclusive colorways, so you can't get them. But I think they're beautiful. He has really good taste in yarn colors, so you should go and check him out. And that is the end of my episode 4. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching my podcast, and hopefully you'll subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, go over to the Ravelry group now. Who's excited? I have a Ravelry group. And sign up. Go over to the 100 subscribers thread, answer, are you monogamous or do you like to cast on all the whips? And I will pick a winner for next episode. I think that's it for ending. Yeah. Leave comments and questions below or in the Ravelry group. And thank you for joining me this week. Have a good week. I'll see you next episode, hopefully. Bye.